Hi, good morning, Eliana.
Good morning, Miss.
How are you?
Sorry, what?
How are you?
Fine, and you, Miss?
I'm fine, thank you. Let me just wait
Yes.
for. Okay, Mary's here already. Hi, Mary.
Hi.
Alejandro's here. Okay, well, I have 4 people, so I guess I can start with you girls. All right. So the objectives that we have for today is we're going to continue with countable and uncountable nouns, and with this we are going to identify and practice quantifiers. Okay.
Okay.
Today we're going to try to have the class either from 10 to 11:30 or 11:40 if we need extra time. So just to actually continue, this is the last thing that we did on Monday. It was the countable and uncountable nouns, and we had the food.
Yep.
So I want you to tell me what was the difference, or what is the difference between countable and uncountable nouns with food. What is the principal difference between countable and uncountable nouns?
¿En inglés?
Well, I mean, you can say it in Spanish and I'll say it in English, but it's okay.
Pues que los contables son como a la vista o a la mano y los incontables es lo que no se puede contar como el, no sé, maíz.
Okay, yes, so pretty much. So the things that you can count in here, for example, eggs.
Water.
Water.
Exactly. So for example, countable, an example can be the eggs,
Egg.
right? So I can say 1 egg, 2 eggs, 3 eggs, 4 eggs, etc., etc. And for example, as you mentioned, let me erase this part so I don't get you confused. And like you said, the water, the
Tea.
milk,
Milk.
exactly, milk. I cannot
Rice.
really count. Rice,
Spaghetti.
spaghetti. So sugar, all of the things like Liana said that I cannot really, I can touch, but I cannot say 1 milk, 2 milks, 3 milks. No, I need to say similar to what we practice the containers, like the bottle of milk or the carton of milk. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So with this, we are actually going to well, we have those examples, and this is what we're going to do. I want you to open your book if you have the book with you.
Yes.
It's on page 127. Let me show you the book. Hold on, so you can see where it is. Okay, can you see the software of the book?
Yes.
Okay, so
¿Era 127, perdón?
yes, 127.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, in your book, because the software is different. You should have it in activity number 9. Can you see it? So something
Yes.
like this. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do, let me show you the PowerPoint presentation so I can share the explanation. Okay, I want you to check the PowerPoint so you can see. Okay, the first thing that we have to do is we have to complete number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 to number 8 using a, an, or some. Okay. In this case, for example, bread. Can I say a bread, and bread, or some bread?
Some bread.
Exactly. So bread, in this case, is it countable or uncountable?
I don't remember what is bread.
Bread,
Countable.
yeah, like the bimbo bread
Okay.
when you make a sandwich.
Yeah.
Okay. So please complete number 2, number 3 to number 8 with a, an, or some. Consider if you think they are countable or uncountable. Okay.
Miss, I can't remember what is garlic.
Garlic is okay. Let me.
Ajo.
Yes.
Ah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. When you finish, please put finish in the chat. Okay. All right, so Luna finished. What about the rest? Okay, Elena, Alejandra.
Pepper is pimiento.
Yes, no, in this case it's the vegetable. So it's the pimiento.
Sí, es lo que dije.
No es pimienta.
It can be, it's pimiento because it's vegetable. Check the word in parentheses. It's the vegetable. Pimiento and pimienta in English are the same word, but one is like the salt, and the other one is like the vegetable. The pimiento is the vegetable.
Okay. Ah, okay, ya.
Morrón.
Yes. So yeah, in English, the pimiento and pimienta is the same thing.
Okay. It's the same word.
Yeah, the word.
Okay.
All right. So let's check. In this case, the answers. For number 2, what did you put? A, an, or some?
Only some.
A tomato. A tomato.
A tomato.
Number 3, milk. So milk.
Some.
So first I need you to tell me, milk, is it countable or uncountable noun?
Uncountable.
Uncountable.
Uncountable. So what do you put? A, an, or some?
Some.
Some, okay? Exactly. I cannot count the milk. I cannot say 1 milk, 2 milks, 3 milks, but I say some milk, okay? What about egg? A, an, or some?
And
An, egg. Exactly. Onion, an onion, a onion or some onion?
An onion.
Onion.
Yo puse a.
Okay. So in this case, it's an. Remember
An.
that you
Es-
have the vowel. Okay. So if it's a vowel, you need to put an.
Okay.
And then we have garlic.
An.
An or some.
Some.
Okay. In this case, garlic.
Oh,
Wait. Garlic is different. I cannot say one garlic, two garlics, three garlics. Remember that the garlic, I'm gonna do my best representation of a garlic in here.
sí, son varios.
So the garlic has the teeth, el diente, what we like we said in Spanish. So we count the teeth. We count the teeth of the garlic. So one teeth of garlic, two teeth of garlic. But the garlic like this is uncountable. Okay, let me continue with pasta. So pasta first, countable or uncountable?
Uncountable.
Uncountable. Some
it's-
pasta.
Exactly, so it's on pasta. Some pasta. And pepper, it's the vegetable. So you need to remember like
A pepper.
So you have like this. So it is a pepper. The answer is not appearing.
A pepper.
Yes.
Pues sí.
Okay, a pepper. Exactly. So just kind of like to go back a little because we're going to practice this more with more examples. Don't worry. But specifically these letters and words. So I have a, I have an, and I have some. Okay. If I have countable and uncountable, what word, this or this, do I use for countable? What are the words or words that I use for countable?
Countable, a or an.
Exactly.
Some, me queda claro que es uncountable.
Yes. So in this case, that is like something you have to have, like what, like you said, Ileana, some is uncountable. Right?
Yes.
So that's something that you need to remember. What you need to remember also is to pay attention to the word. So you say, okay, bread. Imagine the bread, like the bimbo bread. Okay, so I cannot say one bread, two breads. I say some breads. So you need to also pay attention to the word. For example, like garlic, pasta. You know that you cannot say one pasta, two pastas. It's impossible. But you have the word some. So these two are countable. Okay. They help us counting because I can say 2 tomatoes, 3 tomatoes, 4 tomatoes in general, or if it's one, a tomato. They help us to count. Okay? Questions with this? No questions?
No,
sure?
miss.
All right. Okay, sorry. So the quantifiers, I need you to pay special attention to this because this might be a little difficult. So quantifiers are words, okay? So they are words that we use to say the quantity. What is quantity? What do you think is quantity?
La cuenta.
No.
So,
Contar.
sí.
More or less.
Identificar cuántos son o algo así.
Yes, pretty much. Okay. So the quantity is like all the objects or all of the things that you have in one place. Okay.
In one what?
In one place, in the kitchen,
Okay.
in your room, or in the bedroom, etc., etc. So the quantifiers They are specific words that we use to say the quantity without numbers. So I don't use numbers. I use quantifiers, okay? To express the quantity. Maybe I have 100 tennis shoes, but I say I have many shoes. I don't say the number. I say I have many shoes, okay? So they are words that help us say the quantity with no numbers. Questions with this part?
Nope.
No?
No.
Okay. Now, similar to the food, the quantifiers are these. Quantifiers are divided. They divide. They can be countable and they can be uncountable. Okay? So what I want you to do is in your notebook, right now, only in your notebook, copy this chart, and you put individually, you put the words that you consider or that you think they are countable and they are uncountable, okay? So you put them, I'm gonna give you 4 minutes and then later we're gonna check the answers. Don't worry if you are correct or if you are not correct. Put the ones that you think they are. And when you finish, please write finish on the chat.
¿Qué? ¿Qué vamos a hacer? ¿Qué vamos a hacer? Perdón.
It's okay. So in this case, these are the ones that are in here.
Okay.
Are
In the
the-
notebook.
Yes, in a notebook.
Okay.
So just divide them and see what expression you think is countable and which one is uncountable.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
It's okay.
¿Tiene repetido el last of? ¿No importa?
Yeah, some the ones that are repeated, the ones that repeat, they are for both. They are for countable and uncountable.
Ah, ok.
Ay, no, estoy bien revuelta.
Why?
Pues por todos, todos creo que son countable.
It's okay. It's okay. You put them, and then we're gonna check the answers. Don't worry about that. What you need to do, just put the ones that you think, and we clarify that in a moment. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Emiliano and Ileana already finished. Okay, Katia also finished. Okay. Okay, so let's check them. Now, one thing that is important, okay, and this one is that I want you to consider all the time. Important. Let me erase this part. So, this sometimes, and this is what I want you to consider. I can use, for example, if you see, it says a lot, a lot, a lot of. It means, or it represents that you can use it for both. You can use it for countable and uncountable, okay? Sometimes it's possible that I can use the same word for countable and uncountable, okay?
Okay.
Now, this is what I want you to check. This part, you have it in your book, the same page 127. So, in here, I eat a lot of tomatoes. Let me actually show you this part. Hold on. This is the thing that I'm going to show you. Let me open the other PowerPoint presentation. And here it is. Tell me when you can see the PowerPoint presentation.
Not yet.
Okay. Now?
Yes.
Okay. So remember that we are working with countable and uncountable. Okay? So countable, uncountable. This first part, I have, who wants to help me read this part?
Read.
Read, yes.
I
Okay, please.
eat a lot of tomatoes.
Mhm.
How many tomatoes do you eat? Too many, more than I need, a lot of, lots of, some, a few, not many, very few, none, not any.
Okay. And who wants to help me read this column? Another, okay. Yes?
Dije cri, cri, cri.
I'm sorry. All right, another person who wants to help me read this part? Only read, you don't have to do anything else.
Yes.
I drink a lot of apple juice. How much apple juice do you drink? All the text?
Yes.
Too much, more than I need. A lot of, lots of. Some, a little. Not much, very little. None, not any.
Okay. So, in this case, if we have to separate.
Teacher, se escucha a usted muy lejos.
Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, it was my microphone. Okay.
Microphone.
So I have column number 1. column number 2.
Okay.
What column do you think is countable?
The
Number
first.
1 or number,
Too many.
Number 1.
exactly, number 1.
Okay.
And this one would be number 2. Sorry, uncountable. So like that. The one, and you have it in your book. It's on page 127. So this part, if you see, I'm using countable nouns, tomatoes, well, pretty much tomatoes. And in this one, I'm actually talking about uncountable using apple juice. So something that I drink like water, milk, soda. Okay. Questions that you have with this?
No, but wait for
Yes, don't worry. When you're ready, tell me.
Teacher,
Mhm.
entonces podemos contestar con esos dependiendo de la cantidad.
Yes, in this case, actually, if you don't want to say the number of the quantity, you can use this. For example, I can say, I drink 4 bottles of apple juice a day, or I drink a lot of apple juice. I don't say the number or the quantity. Well, actually, I don't say the number. I only say like it's a lot of the quantity.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. When you're ready, let me know, Alejandra.
yes. Yeah.
All right. So before I actually continue, because we're going to see this part by part, and you're actually going to work with this part. Questions that you have with this before I continue?
No.
Okay. This is another representation of these quantifiers. And in here, the meaning is like the definition, let's say. This, I can send you this to the WhatsApp group later today, but in here it's more like a specific. So you have little, countable, no, uncountable, yes. But I'm going to send this to the WhatsApp group later, okay?
Okay.
Now, this is the part that I want you to pay attention. We're gonna start first with countable. So I have this orange and oranges. Can we count? Can we count
Es la aplicación para hacer tus
oranges? Yes or no?
Yes.
So I can count the orange. I can say an orange, or I can say 2 oranges. Okay? What about dogs? Can we count dogs?
Yes.
So the same thing, I can say a dog and I can say 4 dogs. Okay? So I can definitely count them. They are countable nouns like it says in here. Now we have this. What about rice? Can we count rice?
No, we can't.
We can't, exactly. So we have to say, and this is the part where I want you to pay attention. I can say, I have these options. I can say some rice, very little rice, a lot of rice. Okay. Do I say the number or only the quantifier?
Quantifier.
The quantifier. So I don't say a number. In this case, the number, no. I have to use the quantifier. Why? Why do I use quantifier and why can't I use the number?
Because it is uncountable.
Exactly.
Rice.
Exactly. So rice, I cannot count. So because it's uncountable, like Liliana says, I have to use some rice, very little rice, or a lot of rice. Okay. What about paint? So check it. Okay, like this. Can we count paint like this?
No.
No, right? So the same thing. I have to say, I have the option of say some paint, very little paint, a lot of paint if you want a big quantity. Okay. Why? Why do I say some, very little, and a lot of, and why can't I say the number? Why is it incorrect for me to say the number? Why do you think?
Lo mismo que dije, ¿no?
Yes.
No,
So
pero
it's
nadie dice nada.
so it's pretty much what similar to the rice. So these are uncountable. The paint like this is uncountable. So I have to use a quantifier. Okay, like this to count. Now we're going to work with this specifically, little by little. What I want you to consider is this. Oh, sorry. Let me show you the presentation. There you go. What I want you to consider are these things. Okay. If it's too many, a lot of, lots of, some, many, very few. And I want you to imagine that all of this is your kitchen, okay? And I want you to tell me one thing that there is, and one thing, and some things that there are in your kitchen, okay? So for example, in my kitchen, there is a banana, and in my kitchen, there are some apples, okay? I can also say in my kitchen, there are there are a lot of tomatoes, okay? What about you? Think about the objects, the fruit, the vegetables you have in your kitchen, and I want you to take turns to tell me what you have.
One and one?
Yeah, one and one.
Like two. Mm, in my kitchen, there is ¿cómo se dice pera?
Pear.
No. In the kitchen, there are some what?
Pears.
Pears?
Yes.
Okay.
Pears because it's plural.
Pears. Yeah. Pears. Okay.
What about the rest? Who wants to give me another example? You can invent.
Teacher, yogurt.
Sorry?
Yogurt.
The yogurt, okay. What about the yogurt?
There is a yogurt in my kitchen.
But in this case, yogurt, is it countable or uncountable?
Uncountable.
Okay, so can I say a yogurt or some yogurt?
Some yogurt.
Okay, so it would be in my kitchen, there is some yogurt.
Okay.
What about the rest? Who wants to give me one example?
Me.
Okay.
In my kitchen, there is orange. And in my kitchen, there are some eggs.
Okay, yes, also good. Another example?
In my kitchen, there are aceite, ¿cómo se dice, Miss?
Oil.
There are some, ¿cómo me dijo aceite, Miss?
Oil.
Oil?
Yeah, let me
Oil.
put it
Okay.
in the chat. Oil.
Oil. Okay. Okay. Oil. Okay.
Uh-huh. Right. What about the rest?
In my chicken, there are some salt and some sugar.
Okay, very good. Somebody else who wants to share?
Entonces sería, in my kitchen, there are some oils.
But in this case, oil, Mary, oil is only like the word that I put, oil is singular.
Ujú.
Okay, oil is singular. So it would be singular. So in this case, it would be there is some oil.
Entonces, in my kitchen, there is a oil.
Some.
Some oil.
Some oil.
Okay.
So let me actually, let's go back to this part. And I'm going to ask one by one, okay? Okay, I'm gonna be showing. Okay, I want you to tell me when you can see the PowerPoint presentation. I mean, sorry, the software of the book. Can you see the software of the book?
Yes.
Okay. So in here, I already separated the type of food, countable and uncountable. Okay. I want you to tell me what, and the sentence is like this. I'm gonna show it in the chat. I have. So I want you to pay attention to the food that I have in the software of the book, and I want you to use the sentence I have blah 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 in my kitchen. For example, I have
Miss, ¿esa es la que nos va a mandar también por el WhatsApp?
yes.
Okay.
What I want you to do, and I don't want you to write, I want you to speak, and I'm going to ask one by one, okay? Everybody is going to participate in this activity. So I'm going to say, I have some, no, I have many eggs in my kitchen, and I have some garlic in my kitchen. Okay, I don't want you to write, I want you to give me one example. Okay, well, actually 2 examples, one with countable nouns and one with uncountable nouns. Okay, so who wants to be number 1, or who wants to be the first to participate? I mean, everybody is going to participate, so okay.
With examples in the kitchen.
Yes. You can invent. If you don't have like this, don't worry. You can invent, but I want you to just give me 2 examples using the quantifiers. I don't want you to use numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have some oranges in my kitchen.
But hold on. I have a, or I have some oranges.
Some. I have some oranges in my kitchen.
Okay.
I have few milk in my kitchen.
All right. Very good. So you're using one countable and one uncountable. Who wants to be next?
Me.
Okay.
I have some onion in my kitchen.
Okay.
And I have milk in my kitchen.
Okay, but remember in this case, milk, can you count the milk or is it uncountable?
Uncountable.
Okay, so in this case, remember that if I have something that is uncountable, I have to use this. Okay, I can
Okay.
say Okay, so
Okay.
maybe you can say I have a lot of or lots of milk. Okay.
Okay.
All
Thank you,
right.
Miss.
You're welcome. Now, what about the rest? Who wants to give me another example?
A ver, ahí le voy. Uncountable. I have a tea in my kitchen.
Hold on. But the same thing. Remember, uncountable. Can I say an, or some?
I have a.
But can you count the tea?
No, tea is uncountable.
Uncountable. Okay. So, what are the words that we use for uncountable?
I have a tea.
But remember, a is the same as one. So tea.
Some. I have some tea in my kitchen. Y yo puse, I have a lot of orange in my kitchen. Countable?
Yes. Very good. So yes, just pay attention to the word that you're gonna use, because if it's tea, it's uncountable, like you said, Ileana. So we cannot use a.
Okay. It's
Right?
Some.
Or a few, much, etc.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else who wants to give me another example? Remember, we have to try to participate.
I have some cereal in my kitchen.
Okay, very good.
I have an coffee in my kitchen.
All right. I have a what?
I have an some.
So in this case, remember, it's the same thing. Coffee is like orange or like sugar. I cannot count the coffee. So I have to use some, like Alejandra said.
I have some coffee.
Yes.
In my kitchen. Okay.
Anyone else who wants to? Yes. Anyone else who wants to give me another example?
In my kitchen, I have carrots, and in my kitchen, I have sugar.
In my kitchen,
Alejandra.
Eso estaba hablando alguien.
Okay.
In my kitchen, I have a lot of chicken. No, chicken, perdón.
Yes.
¿Sí? Kitchen. Digo.
Chicken.
Chicken.
Yes.
And in my kitchen, I have some eggs.
Okay.
No. Some eggs or yes?
Some bread, did you say?
Eggs.
Some eggs. Yes.
Some eggs and some lettuce.
Okay. Yes. Very good. So this is, I'm gonna send you something to the WhatsApp, and I want you to have it with you because we're gonna use it. Let me send you the picture to the WhatsApp group so you can have it for the next activities. I want you to tell me when you receive them. Tell me if you received the picture to the WhatsApp group. Did you see the picture?
Yes, miss.
Okay.
Yes.
So I want you to have that in mind, okay? We're gonna use it in a moment. So we're gonna be a little bit more specific now. We're gonna practice specifically with every noun and every word. So I'm going to start with the countable. The countable nouns. Tell me, can I count the countable nouns or no? What do you think? Can I?
Miss, I'm sorry, I don't pay attention. Sorry. What?
Oh, countable nouns. Can I count the countable nouns like 1, 2, 3 or no?
Yes.
Yes, right?
Yes.
Mhm. So the countable nouns, like for example, dogs,
Mm-hmm.
students, oranges, okay? They are the things that I can count, like 1, 2, 3, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4 dogs, 1, 2, 3, 4 students, 1, 2 oranges. They are countable. So for countable nouns, I have a specific words. Too many, a lot of, lots of, some, and very few. So these three, it means that you have a big quantity. And these ones, these two, it means that the quantity is very short or very little. Okay? So, for example, maybe if a person has 20 dogs, I can say, there are too many dogs because the quantity, because the number is big. So there are too many dogs. The same with students. Maybe I have 15 students. So I can say, there are a lot of students. Okay? But because I'm talking about plural. And in this case, if you see, I only have 2 oranges. The quantity, 2. Is it big or is it little?
Little.
Little, right? The quantity is little because I only have 2. So I can say, I have very few oranges because the quantity is little. Okay? So for example, I want you to tell me one example using too many. Who wants to give me one example using too many?
There are too many horses.
Okay, horses. In this case, remember that the word has to be in plural. So there are too many horses.
Yes, horses. Uh-huh.
All right, very good, Ileana. Somebody else who wants to give me another example with any of the phrases? All right, so I'm gonna ask then.
There are, okay. There are, puede ser a lot of pencils.
Okay, yeah. All right, very good. Elena, can you give us one example?
There are too many cats.
Okay, very good, like that. Katia, can you give us one example with any of these phrases?
There are very few cats.
Okay, very good. Fernanda, can you give us one example with any of the expressions?
There are a lot of, mm, I don't know.
Yeah, you can invent.
Okay. A car? Well, no, cars.
Exactly. Okay, so there are a lot of cars. Good.
Uh-huh.
Mary, can you give us one example?
There are a lot of flowers.
But do you mean flowers like the plants or like harina?
Plants.
Okay, so there are a lot of flowers. Just remember, it's plural. Okay.
Flowers.
Mhm.
Okay. The
Good.
flower. There are a lot of flowers.
Yes, very good. Emiliano, can you give us one example?
Yes. There are too many staplers.
Okay. And Vanessa, can you give us one example?
There are too many cards.
Okay, yes. So in this case, before I continue, again, because I'm going to do it part by part, do you have questions with this? Like, what questions do you have with these specific expressions? So you can say, no questions this year, or I have a question. So you tell me.
No question.
No, teacher.
Okay. Now, one thing that is important, are these sentences affirmative or negative?
Affirmative.
Exactly. These are affirmative. Okay. So these are the things when I say something affirmative, or the expressions that I say something affirmative. And then I have this, not any and not many. Okay. I can say another way that I can say it is that I don't have any dogs. Okay. So if you see, the not is already in here, not any. The same with not many. I don't have many oranges. In here is, this one is 0, and this one is that the quantity is very little. Okay. For example, if you see in here, I'm going to send you a picture to the WhatsApp group. And I want you to tell me.
Yo pedí uno para mí, estoy segura de eso. Un cuadro, no sé por qué, por alguna extraña razón, tengo 3 cuadros de estos. Si alguien me da pedido comprado uno,
Okay.
si no yo pedí.
Okay. I want you to tell me when you received the picture to the WhatsApp group that I sent you. I sent you a new picture. Did you receive it?
Yes.
Yes, miss.
Okay. So in there I have apples, orange, well, an orange, potatoes, onion, and tomatoes. Okay. What I want you to tell me is from here, imagine that the picture that I send you is your bowl of fruit and vegetables. I can tell you one example is that I don't have in here, I don't have any garlic. In here, I don't have any garlic. Okay. Who wants to tell me one example with not any? So I don't have any garlic in this picture. What is your example? What can you tell me?
I want any bananas.
Me la ganaste.
So I don't have, just remember, I don't have any bananas.
Any bananas, okay.
All right. Anyone else who wants to give me an example?
I don't have any, ¿cómo se dice zanahoria?
Carrots.
Carrots. I don't have any carrots.
All right, very good. Another example with not any?
I don't have any cards.
Okay, all right, yes. Anyone else who wants to give me an example with not any?
I don't have any paper.
Okay, yes. All right, so we understand that in here is 0. But this one, I do have a quantity, but it's very little. So in here, I can say maybe, okay? Again, this is an example. I don't have many apples, okay? In this picture, I don't have many apples. What about you? What can you tell me? You can invent.
Um,
So in this case, you can invent. You don't have to necessarily say something from the picture. But like I said, I don't have many apples, okay? Maybe the quantity is little. So I don't have many apples. What about you?
I don't have many pears.
Okay, don't have many pears, okay?
Pears.
I don't have many bananas.
Okay, yes, very good.
I don't have many potatoes.
All right, yes.
I don't have.
A ver, yeah, I don't have many eggs.
Okay, good. Fernanda?
I don't have many onions.
Okay, very good. Anybody else who wants to give me an example of this? No? Questions with this part, with not any and not many.
Oh,
Okay. Now, are these sentences affirmative or negative?
Negative.
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 These two expressions are to say or to mention something that is a little negative, okay? Because you're saying that you have 0 quantity and that you have a very little quantity, okay? Questions with this before I continue?
No.
All right, so in this case, in here, we are talking about countable. I'm gonna go back to the other presentation. Oh, sorry. And again, we're talking about countable, okay? I want you to consider this because we're talking about countable objects, things that you can count. Now, we're going to practice with uncountable, okay? So like uncountable, are they the things that you can count, like 1, 2, 3, or the things that you cannot count?
Cannot count.
Exactly, okay? I cannot really count like 1, 2, 3, so to say the quantity, I'm going to use this. A lot of, lots of, some, and very little. Okay? Example. There is a lot of rice. There is some paint. There is very little water. Okay? So in this case, I want you to tell me, and again, we're gonna do it one by one. Who wants to give me one example of any of these? But please, consider this. They are uncountable. So check, the word is singular. Who wants to give me an example of this?
There is a lot of beans. Maybe. There is a lot of beans, son frijoles, ¿no?
Yeah, but in this case, I'm gonna, hold on. Because remember that, one thing, let me just, I'm going to send you this picture to the WhatsApp group. So you can practice from that. Hold on. And I want you to consider the food that is in there, okay? Did you receive the picture?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so from this picture and this next activity, these next sentences, we are only going to consider the ones that say you. Okay, so the uncountable.
Mhm.
So in this case, where is the PowerPoint? Here it is. Okay, so in this case, bean there are, you can say there are because you're saying beans, so there are some beans, because
No, a
beans,
lot of.
no, it's the same thing. There are a lot of, or there are some, but you have to say there are, because beans you're using plural,
Yes.
right? But
Yes.
any who wants to give me another example?
Okay, there is a lot of pasta.
Okay, yes, very good. Someone else?
There is some coffee.
Okay, yes.
There is a lot of sugar.
Yes. Someone else who wants to give me an example?
There is a lot of ay, ¿dónde está? Ya lo perdí. A lot yogurt.
Okay, yeah, there is a lot of yogurt.
Okay.
Right. Anyone else who wants to give me an example before we continue? No? All right. So again, before we continue, one more time, it's the same thing as accountable. Are these sentences expressing something affirmative or something negative?
Affirmative. Yes.
All of these, they are expressing something that is affirmative. So we're going to continue with not very much and not any. Now pay attention to this, because this is something that normally people get confused. Much is not, well, I'm gonna explain that later. So I can say there is not very much rice, okay? So in here is to say that the quantity is little. My quantity is very short, very little. And I can say there is not any paint, which is 0. Okay? There is not any paint and it's 0. Who wants to give me an example with not very much? You can invent, okay? It's whatever you want to say. But who wants to give me examples?
There is not very much cereal.
Okay, yes, very good.
There is not very much milk.
Okay, yes, pretty good. Anyone else?
There is very much.
So remember, there is not.
Very much tuna.
Okay, yes. Tuna.
Tuna. Tuna. Okay.
Good. Who wants to give me examples with not any?
There is not any salt.
Any what?
Salt.
Okay. Any,
¿Qué era?
Who wants to give me another example?
There is not any macaroni.
Okay.
Ah, bueno.
Any other example before we continue?
Me.
Okay.
There is not any chocolate.
Okay. All right. Very good. So this is what I'm going to ask you, and I have one question. Can you take a picture and send the pictures to the WhatsApp group right now? Can you do it or no?
What?
Yes. Again, can you this activity, the next activity that I want you to do? Can you do the activity? Sorry. Can you take a picture of fruit or whatever you have in your kitchen right now?
Yes.
Is it possible?
Yes.
And can you send it to the WhatsApp group?
Yes.
Okay. What about the rest? Can you do it?
Yes.
Okay. Or no? All right. So maybe this activity, we're going to do it later today, okay? When we are not in class, when you have more possibilities to do it, okay? But we do it later. Let's just continue with this part. Right now, before we move on, I just want to make sure these two, are they affirmative or are they negative?
Con lo que tengamos, Miss.
Yes, but you know what, Ileana? Maybe we can stop that activity because not everybody is able to do it.
Okay.
So we can do it later today.
Okay.
All right. So these sentences, are they affirmative or are they negative?
Negative.
So they are negative. Okay, I didn't show the example of not any. Okay, so similar to what we said before, and this is important. One, because it's going to be in the exam. And two, because, I mean, these are other expressions that we use to count, okay, when we don't use the numbers. Something that is important that you need to know, well, you need to be able to make the difference when we say countable and when we say the countable and when we say the uncountable nouns. Now, the principal difference would be this: many, much, too many, too much, a few, a little, very few, and very little. The things that I put in red are the principal words that are different. For the things that I count, I say many. Many is like mucho in Spanish. Much is like mucho in English. But how many? Is it for countable or uncountable?
Countable.
Okay. And how much?
Uncountable.
Uncountable. Okay. So please pay attention to that when we do activities or in the exam, if they have that question in the exam. Because much and many is mucho in Spanish, but one is for countable and one is for uncountable, okay?
Okay.
Okay. What questions do you have with this chart before I continue?
No, Miss.
No?
Yo no sé los demás.
All right, what about the rest? Questions? No? All right.
Me,
Okay, yes?
teacher, a lot of, ¿qué tiene diferencia a lot of?
Nothing.
¿Verdad?
Yeah,
Ah,
in this case, a lot of or lots of, it's pretty much the same thing. They are just different ways to say it.
ok.
Yeah,
Sí, me quedé nada más con esa dudita, pero
yeah.
no sabía si era lo mismo o
No, they are the same thing. The only difference is like the way you write it, but it's pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
Just
Es
different.
que
Thank you.
many quiere decir, o sea, como mucho, pero que sí lo podemos, no sé, contar de alguna
Yes.
manera. Y much es como, pues sí, lo líquido, lo
Yes.
que no se puede, o lo que son, o sea, no sé, a lo mejor el arroz, ¿no?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Mhm.
Ya
So one is countable and one is uncountable.
Okay.
Any other question?
No.
Okay. So we're gonna move on. I'm gonna try to send this picture to the WhatsApp group as well with the main differences.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I don't want you to copy all of the sentence because it's going to take a lot of time to copy. But I want you to make a list in your notebook. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what I want you to put is only the answer. So number 1, what is the answer for number 1? Number 2, what is the answer for number 2?
Okay.
Oy, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, okay, so I need you to pay attention because these are activities that are similar, the ones that you have in the book, but maybe similar to the ones that you're going to have in the exam. Okay. First, we need to identify the nouns. Okay. So I have, there is blank new teacher. New teacher. Is it countable or uncountable?
Countable.
Countable.
Exactly, because you can
It's
count the teacher.
It's A.
So
A.
I have the A, right? And then we have this cake needs sugar. I don't want you to give me the answer, but tell me, is it countable or uncountable?
Uncountable.
Uncountable.
Uncountable. And then we have number 3. There are students. Students, countable or uncountable?
Countable.
Exactly. So I have countable. There isn't, check, isn't is negative, okay? Butter. Butter, is it countable or uncountable?
Uncountable.
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 Exactly. And then we do the last one. There were people.
Countable.
Countable. Yeah.
Well, this one is actually, it can be both, but yes. So what I want you to do, is already finished. I want you to answer, to put the answer for number 2, 3, 4, and 5 using the ones that you have left. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So when you finish,
Yes,
let me
miss.
know. Okay, Jonas, you finished? Okay, Lena also finished. Are you guys ready?
Yes, miss.
What about the rest? Did you finish? Okay, I'm gonna wait 1 more minute. All right, so let's check the answers. Number 1 is already answered. Number 2, okay, Mary also finished. Number 2 says, this cake needs sugar, 500 grams. What did you put?
A lot of.
Okay.
Number 3.
Number 2.
Well, take number 2.
Yeah, the number 3.
Okay, so in this case, a lot of.
A lot of.
So
Yes.
this case, much, remember that much in this case is for something that probably is too much or not much. It can be also negative. So this cake needs a lot of sugar, 500 grams, okay? And then we have, there are, number 3.
Many.
Many.
Exactly. There are many students in the class. So you already have this, and then we have many. Now this one is negative. There isn't
much.
Much butter in the fridge, only a little bit. And let's see. There were
a lot of people at the concert.
Exactly. There are a lot of people in the concert. Questions with this?
No.
No, miss.
Okay. So we're gonna continue, and we're actually gonna do something the same, something very similar. And this one, I want you to do it on your own. Okay. We are going to have the possibility of using a lot of, and, much, many, and some. I want you to read, and I want you to pay attention to the noun. Expensive flats, water, mistakes, interesting story, and sugar. You need to identify if they are countable and uncountable, okay? And use these to complete the sentences. Again, don't copy all of the sentences, only the answer.
The number 2, miss, is I drink or I drank?
Drunk, because it's past.
Okay.
No te bañé.
Ya me bañé.
Perdón, era conmigo.
Ya sé, está bromeando. Que hacer esto menos de repente. Mm,
Are you ready?
no.
Okay, let's just wait 1 more minute and then we'll check the answers. All right, so Alejandro already finished.
Not sure.
Okay, don't worry. All right. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to read the sentences and I want you to tell me, I don't want you to tell me the answer until I finish reading each sentence.
Mhm.
So I have, there are blank expensive flats in the center, maybe 3 or 4. What did you put?
I don't know.
Yo puse one.
All right, so in this case, some. What? Remember, expensive flats, is it countable or uncountable? Flats are the apartments. Okay?
Ah, okay, yo pensé que los zapatos.
Uncountable.
No, they are
No.
uncountable or countable.
Mm,
If I'm talking,
uncountable.
if I am talking about apartments, is it countable or uncountable? What do you think?
Countable.
It's
Uncountable.
countable. Apartments,
Uncountable.
countable. Okay.
Countable.
Now, I said some because I only put maybe 3 or 4. So is the quantity very big or little? 3 or 4, very big or little, the quantity?
Little?
Exactly. So I have to put, in this case, some, right? And then we have number 2. I drank water today. Water, countable or uncountable?
Uncountable.
Okay, so water is uncountable. So from here, which one do you think you can put?
Much.
Much.
Okay. A lot of. In this case, hold on. Much, I can also say much, okay? Don't worry. We have those options, so it's okay. I can also say I drank too much water. The only difference is that you have to put or to include too much water, but it's okay. Or a lot of water. The 2 answers are correct, okay?
Okay.
Number 3, it was good because there weren't mistakes. Mistakes, are we talking about countable or uncountable?
Countable.
Countable.
Exactly. Mistakes are errors, okay? So it says in here, and pay attention, it was good because there weren't mistakes in the exam, only 2. So what can you put?
Some.
Many.
Many.
Exactly, okay? Remember the expressions that are in negative, Iliana. Not any and not many. Only those 2 examples are negative, and weren't is negative, okay?
Sí.
Number 4, this is interesting story.
And
An interesting story, because you start with I. And the same as this one. This is negative. I don't usually put sugar. Sugar, is it countable or uncountable?
Uncountable.
Exactly. Much, exactly, okay? Because it's negative.
una bien.
What?
Yo también.
Don't
Solo
worry.
tuve una.
In this case, don't worry, because I included different things, like departments, errors, but we need to be able to identify the countable and uncountable, okay?
Okay.
Let me just, before I let you go, I just want to make sure something. All right, so yeah, we're gonna do this part. Before we continue, I need you to tell me if you have questions with the countable and the uncountable expressions. Do you have questions?
No.
So the only thing that is very important, I need you to be able to identify if the object or the noun is countable and if it's uncountable. Because if you say bread, what is it? Countable or uncountable?
What word?
Bread, like bimbo bread.
Countable?
Are you sure?
No, uncountable.
Uncountable, okay? So those are the things that you need to identify. For example, if you see sugar
is uncountable.
It's uncountable, but sugar, is it singular or plural, the word?
Singular.
Singular, okay?
Singular.
So normally, the uncountable words are going to be in singular. For example, sugar, water, they are uncountable. But for example, flats, mistakes, this one, well, it's only one, so we don't really count. But flats, mistakes, oranges, apples, the words are in plural. So it means that I can count. Okay. I think for now, all right. So for now, that's the only thing that I'm going to ask you to do. Okay. We're gonna stop right now and we're gonna continue on Monday.
Yes.
We are probably going to have to cover the missing class on Tuesday before the exam, before the quizzes.
Okay.
So that you are going to be able to practice more. I'm going to send you some. I'm gonna speak in Spanish, right? So I can have more clarity on the things. Les voy a estar mandando unas, no diapositivas, son imágenes que voy a mandar al grupo. Las actividades que les voy a poner ya de ahora en adelante como tarea, entre comillas, van a ser tarea, porque pues es parte de, pero realmente quiero que lo tomen como práctica. Quiero que lo hagan, tómense su tiempo, tienen de aquí al martes para hacerlo. ¿Por qué? Porque pues ya lo van a ver como un review ustedes. Va a ser más que nada repaso antes de la hora del examen, ¿ok?
Ok. ¿Cuándo es el siguiente examen, Miss?
Es el miércoles.
El miércoles de la semana que entra.
Ajá.
¿Por qué tan
Entonces,
rápido?
no sé cómo estuvieron ahí arregladas las fechas, la verdad. Pero sí, ya se corta este curso y luego empiezan el 5 el viernes, me parece.
No, órale.
Ajá. Entonces, las cosas que
Pero
les voy...
Terminan con usted el 5.
Eso sí, no sé, la verdad,
No, nomás a huelga.
ahí igual a lo mejor lo pueden
No se
preguntar.
vaya, Miss, por favor.
Terminamos el 17. Por
¿Cómo?
eso, según yo, terminamos el 17, ¿no?
Sí, el miércoles es 17, ¿no?
No.
Sí.
¡Hala! ¡Qué raro!
Ajá.
Estamos a 12.
Ah, sí, cierto.
Sí, entonces, digo, realmente lo que vamos a ver y lo que ya hemos visto es lo que va a venir, pero como quiera, pues hay que practicarlo y cubrir este miércoles, ese martes que viene,
Martes.
el miércoles que pues no tuvimos.
Sí.
Vamos a tener lunes y martes clase.
Ajá.
Lunes, martes, el miércoles vamos a empezar con preguntas, repaso que tengan antes del examen. ¿Ok? Pero sí les digo, las cosas que les voy a mandar son tarea, pero no las voy a contar como que, pues es que no la hizo porque no tuvo tiempo y no le voy a bajar puntos, no. Realmente tómenlo como repaso para que ustedes ya a lo mejor el miércoles, antes de que sea el examen, me digan, ¿sabes qué, Miss? Tengo dudas con esto, quiero checarlo nada más para ver si estoy bien o estoy mal. ¿Ok? Entonces, todas las actividades que les mande, porque les voy a mandar diferentes actividades, ustedes hagan las que puedan y díganme, tengo pregunta todavía en esto. ¿Ok?
Sí, Miss.
Ok.
Gracias.
No, de nada. Any questions that you have so far?
Yo tengo una duda.
¿Sí?
La semana pasada, esta semana, nos mandó los de pasado participio. Pero
Sí.
yo donde quise subirlo, nomás hay para compartirlo.
A ver, déjame checar.
Y no hay para enviarlo, no lo pude enviar.
Cuando les pase eso, mándenmelo por correo.
Ok, perfecto.
Sí, para verlo. También les voy a mandar un ejercicio de ese de pasado participio, porque vamos a ver algo que tiene que ver con pasado. Entonces, para que esos verbos los saqué específicamente de esta unidad. Entonces, quiere decir que posiblemente van a venir en el examen. Entonces, para que los tengan en cuenta.
Teacher, ¿cuándo ya vamos a poder regresar? ¿O todavía no?
La verdad, no tenemos fecha.
Sí, porque yo quedo con...
¿Cómo?
No digo que no, que no regresemos porque yo qué hago conmigo.
Ahorita, primero que nada tenemos que cumplir, o sea, realmente la escuela primero tiene que cumplir con los requisitos, para poder decir, ok, ya estamos capacitados para poder, o sea, que tengamos todo lo que se ocupa, ¿no? Para poder regresar. Primero nosotros como personal administrativo, porque tampoco hemos podido regresar. Y una vez que se tenga eso, pues vamos a tener, me parece, no estoy muy segura, se va a estar igual haciendo de una manera escalonada o híbrida, si lo quieren ver así, porque pues realmente esto de las clases en línea, mientras estemos así o mientras no haya una vacuna, si quieren verlo así por ese lado del coronavirus, realmente vamos a estar yendo unos y otros en línea, así. Entonces, todavía no es muy seguro, pero yo diría, posiblemente a lo mejor agosto lleguemos a regresar como grupo. Pero
Todos.
realmente no, sí, pero no estoy muy segura porque la verdad no creo que podamos tener un grupo de más de 10 alumnos en la escuela.
Entonces, ¿tú crees que si somos 20, un ejemplo, el lunes le toca tal,